Okay. A very good morning to everyone and
Yeah.
welcome to the
Good morning, Anita. I think one of my seniors, Sally, is waiting in the lobby. Can you just allow her?
everyone is able to join in without us admitting them in the lobby. If they have difficulty, ask them to rejoin. Just drop off and rejoin. That should work.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's get started. So welcome to the third session of Industry Working Group. This is also the second session that NASSCOM team will be doing it for us as part of the follow-up from last week. For those of you who missed the first session done by NASSCOM team, please check your email or the DICE ID community page. We've already shared the recording and the documents relevant to the first session done on the NOS framework. To ensure a smooth and productive session, please ensure your microphone is muted when you're not speaking. And like I said, if you have any technical issues, please try to rejoin the meeting. Okay. Today's agenda is going to be a very interactive session, and we request you to actively participate in it. You'll be able to unmute yourself directly. And yeah, so over to Namrata and Priya. Thanks again for facilitating the second session for us. And let's get started. Over to you, Namrata. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Anita. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session. So, before I begin with the session, I just want to have a little understanding that how many of you were there in the last session, because that would be the basis, and accordingly we'll proceed with the session. So you know if you could just raise your hands, if you were there a part of the last session. Okay. So I guess we have a mixed crowd, that some of you were already a part of the last session, and there are, I could see, many people who have joined this session for the first time. So let us have a quick recap about what was discussed last time, and before we move on to the mapping process, the alignment process, what do you mean by standards, and how they are created. So I'll just share uh, the PPT with everyone. So before we actually start talking about standards, let me just give you a brief about the skilling ecosystem in India. So we have two bodies under the Ministry of Skills and Development, NSDC and NCVT. So NCVT is the body which actually approves standards. Now, there are 37 SSCs in India. Now, when I talk about SSCs, these are sector skill councils, and every industry has their own sector skill council. For example, we have agriculture SSC, we have telecom SSC, we have gems and jewelry SSC, we have hydrocarbon SSC. Now, what these SSCs do, they create standards. Now, if I talk about standards, that they create um, various qualifications or job roles, which is currently present in the market for that particular industry, or maybe in demand in future. So this is what they do. They do research, and then accordingly they prepare various job roles, and then they get these job roles approved by NCVT. Um, Now we at NASSCOM, we also are ITES SSC. Now we did some research with BCG some few years ago, wherein BCG came up with this input that there are 10 emerging technologies which includes cloud computing, AIBDA, 3D, AR, VR, RPA, blockchain, cybersecurity, um, and once we knew that these are the emerging technologies, there'll be a lot of demand in terms of employment in these technologies. We actually created working groups for these various technologies. For now, for cybersecurity, there was a working group which there was a separate working group which was created. Therefore, cloud computing, there was a separate working group created. Now this working group comprises of people from the industry who have knowledge about this technology, and who are also there in the industry, and they know that yes, these are the roles which are currently in demand or will be in demand in future. There are various meetings, there's various brainstorming sessions which these working groups do, and that is when they come up with various job roles. um, I'll just give you an example of the cloud computing technology. I hope my screen is visible. Now, what you can see is a cloud computing NOS sheet. Now, when I say NOS sheet, it means National Occupational Standards. Now, this working group actually, which was created for the cloud technology, actually came up, that these are the various job roles that are high in demand when it talks about employment. There's cloud architect, there's cloud consultant, there's cloud application developer, then we have cloud infrastructure analyst, and so on. Now, what would be, and then in a consultant, what will a cloud consultant do is actually mentioned here. Now, these are the various competencies, or we would say various activities, which a cloud consultant will perform. Now, each and every activity has been given a code which is called a NOS, National Occupational Standard. That a cloud consultant will be doing these activities as a part of his or her job role. Now, this NOS is further divided into something called PCs, or performance criteria. So it has been explained to the minutest detail has been mentioned here, that what a cloud consultant will do. A job role of a cloud consultant will comprise of what all activities. So this is the entire um, standards that has been created under cloud technology. Similarly, we have standards for cyber, for AIBDA, for drone also, for 3D, for AR, VR. So all these standards are there. Now, these standards, a particular job role is pegged at a particular NSQF level. Now, NSQF level is basically the entry criteria. I'll just give you the exact definition of NSQF level so that you have a clear understanding, that it organizes qualifications according to a series of knowledge, skills, and aptitude. Initially, the NSQF levels were from 1 to 10, but with the changes, with the NAP coming in, with NCRF coming in, these levels are 1 to 8. And if you actually see, most of the countries, the NSQF levels are also 1 to 8. So have to have a standardization, they have been brought down to 1 to 8. Um, so this is how the entire standards are created. So I'll just take a pause here and check if anyone has any questions related to the standards, and then I'll move on to the next one. Okay. Uh, yes, Dhara. I think you have a question.
No.
Okay, fine. Great. So we'll proceed. Um, so when I talk about standards, so on my screen are the standards which are there. We have around 95 qualifications or job roles for each and every technologies that are approved by NCVT. So if you actually see, this is about AI. Then we have for web and mobile. Then these standards are for cyber. We also have IoT, blockchain. Then there's RPA technology, the job roles under RPA technology. I'm just scrolling it down slowly so that you can have a look at it. Then we have for AR, VR technology. Um, this is for drone. We have for 3D, and then we have something called core. Uh, these are like in BPM, in IT services, what are the various job roles. So similarly, we have around 95 approved job roles that we have. Now, moving on, I'm also going to briefly touch upon the NCRF, now National Credit Framework. We all know that NAP, New Education Policy, was implemented in 2020, was introduced in 2020. And to have a smooth implementation of NAP, National Credit Framework came into place. Now that this document is already in the public domain, it is well approved. Now National Credit Framework, what it does, it creditize each and every learning, it recognize each and every learning. We all know that all these years there was a gap between the academics and the industry. Now the aim of this NCRF is to actually minimize this gap, to ensure that whether it's experiential learning, whether it is OGT, whether it's internship, any sort of learning can be recognized, should be given credits to it. And then accordingly, it is very, very beneficial for the learner. It enables multiple entry, multiple exits. And another important thing is that it is jointly developed by UGC, AICTE, NCVT, NIOS, CBSE, NCRT. So all these bodies have jointly developed this framework. And whatever credit a learner will get, that credit will go into academic bank of credits, which the learner can redeem at a later point of time. Now here, some of the key points are that 30 hours will be one credit. So that's how the credits will be given to the learner. uh, this is something which is very, very important. I'll also put this in slide mode. If you actually see, now level 1 is still class 5. Then 8th is level 2, ninth is level 2.5, and then as we proceed, point 0.5 levels go on increasing, and PhD is level 3. So this particular axis is very important because it talks about the academics, it talks about skills, and it also talk about your proficiency. um, Now we'll move on to the um, so what is the usage, I mean, what is the importance of linking your courses to the standards? So there'll be credit which will be involved here if your courses are aligned to standards. The learners who will actually go through these courses will get credit. So that's a very, very important thing here. So before I move on to the mapping process, how we take up this alignment activity. In case anyone has any questions still here, we'll just take a pause and then probably move to the next section of how the alignment happens.
Does anyone have any questions so far for Namrata?
Related to NCRF, related to NOS framework, related to standards?
Amrita, this is looking good, but it is looking extremely overwhelming and complex. 95 skills and all of that. Is
Mm-hmm.
there a minimum viable product that you have, that this is the minimum viable thing that we can do, that can be quickly integrated, or something like that? Because to understand this and to implement itself will take time at our end.
No, 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 Siddesh. This looks complicated, but it is actually not complicated. So now I'll to answer your question, let me just take you through the mapping process. So whenever a course comes to us, we first actually recognize the technology, that with which technology the course the course is. If it's AI BDA, if it's cloud technology, we actually have mapping partners with us. So these mapping partners have SMEs for each and every technology. Now, supposing your course is on cloud computing, so we'll share the course access. Of course, NDAs are everything in place, so it's totally confidential to share the course content with us. We in case if the partner requires, we also share sign an NDA before the course content is given to us. um Now, when once we have a course, and for example, it's a course on cloud computing, we will share the entire course access to the SME who's of cloud computing. So he or she will be the person who will actually go through each and every word of the course content and come up that this particular course is getting mapped to this particular job role, and in that job role also, this is the NOS number with which the course is getting mapped. So of course there is a fee which is involved here, and for us, the course to get mapped, it is mandatory that the course should get mapped to a minimum of one NOS, and both the theory and the practical aspects are covered. 80% is the criteria, that 80% theoretically and 80% practically, the course should align to a particular NOS. So as I said, minimum is one more NOS, maximum could be any. So that's the entire process that we do. So once the course is mapped, we know that the course is getting mapped to one NOS, or whatever the n number of NOS is. We also issue a um, course alignment certificate to the partner, and then you can use that course alignment certificate for your branding activities. Let me just also share um, how the course alignment certificate looks. Just a second. So this is the CAC alignment certificate, which is issued to one of the partners, which is Datamatics. We have all our branding here. Um, this is issued to the name of the partner. Then the course name is here, and the NOS to which this particular course is aligned is also mentioned as a part of this CAC alignment certificate. So this is how a CAC alignment certificate looks. And then these courses can be bought on FSP, and that learners can consume. And we also have something called SSC assessment, which gets created once the course gets aligned, so that learners also get a certificate after they complete the course and the assessment. So as I said, that looks uh, um, complicated, but it is not complicated. But yes, there are a number of steps which are involved here. But this process is not at all complicated.
Thank you, Namrata, for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
explanation. Any other questions anybody has? Okay.
Um, so then I'll also share a mapping template, how it looks once the SME does the course mapping, and how um, they share with us that the mapping has happened. So what you see on the screen is a mapping template. Now, when I say a mapping template is, when a course has been shared with the SME goes through the course content and then comes up with the results that this particular course is getting mapped. In this case, this course is getting mapped to two NOSes of AIBDA, and this is the theory and practical coverage. What you see is the PCs, or as I said, the list of activities, sub activities which form the basis of a NOS, and this is how the course gets mapped. So if a course gets mapped to minimum one NOS, we consider that the course is aligned. Then we proceed with the signing of MOU. And then, in case the course needs to be bought on the platform, all that process starts. So this is the entire mapping exercise that we do, which helps the learner to gain credits. So any question? Now we are open for questions, whatever questions you want to ask.
Yeah, hi, this is Lokesh.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to check with you, like this mapping document that you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be filled by whom? Like the SME will do the
The
validation.
SMA. Yeah. So as I said that, the only thing that we would require from the training partner is just the course access, the this activity, alignment activity, the document filling, whether that it is aligning to one NOS or two NOS, will be taken up by our mapping partners.
Okay, and you mentioned some fees also. What was the fee for mapping? Is there a fees? You said there was a fee involved. What is that fees?
Yeah, Priya, would you like to take up this
Yeah, yeah,
question?
yeah, sure. Yeah, so we do charge a mapping fee per course. So per course, it's about 2 lakhs plus GST.
Okay. Okay. And like which NOS is it going to map to, or which objectives it is mapping, that we have to tell, or the
See,
SME
actually,
has?
yeah, no, see, I think initially we would take help from the company experts itself, but you could share us the course and you could tell us which technology this course belongs. Then we will do the exercise of which does the course map to any of the QPs or the NOS within the technology. So all we
Okay.
need from you is the course and the technology. That's it.
Course and okay. And how long will this process take for completion and from start? Like I saw some slide, there were some days and all. So is there some timelines associated with it?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think to get your content, we do have a partnership agreement where I will introduce you to our partners, a partner team. So they will do the partnership agreement, and then parallelly we can look at the course mapping. So there is a criteria which they have, a partner survey form, and
Okay.
you will need to fill that in, and then we can take the mapping exercise ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So last time discussion we had, like we did get queries from, like for example, Scrum Alliance, we don't have a standard today. So you can check, you can share us the details in terms of how many learners are there today, how many learners are getting certified, and then we can see what's the exercise that we could do for the reverse engineering exercise for it. But for the other 10 technologies that you have mentioned, you can let us know the course and the number of, to begin with, I think you can share the course and the number of learners you have for the course and which technology it begins. Then we'll get it rolling.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions? I think in the last session we had a lot of people with a lot of questions, and
I think this call was essentially to only walk through the mapping process, right? So I think that was the purpose of this call. So they may not have too many questions. So
right.
because the heavy lifting is done actually by the SMEs that we subcontract to do the mapping.
Right, right.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So if nobody has any other questions, then we can probably slowly wrap up the session.
So in case we have more questions later on, what are the contact, like whom to contact?
You can always reach out to me. Yeah,
Okay.
I think everyone would have my email address, and I will route the questions accordingly to NASSCOM team.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anita,
And Lokesh, which
I had a question.
company you are from? If
I'm from NIT.
NIT,
And
all right, okay.
Anita, I had a question. So
Yes.
the FSP Future Skills program that NASSCOM is talking about, what is the kind of run rate in terms of how many students are availing those benefits? I mean, if you can give us a ballpark estimate for say beginner level courses or advanced level courses, any estimate on the number of students that are already availing those benefits, government incentives, and all of that?
Yeah, I would request NASSCOM team to take that up, that question.
Sorry, was the question is how many people are availing the
Yeah,
government incentive, is it?
yes.
Yeah, so I think it is probably in few thousands, Sadesh, who are
Okay.
availing the government incentive as of now.
And others are buying courses.
No. Okay, let me just explain this a little bit.
Okay.
So government incentive is applicable for two categories. One is the course has to be aligned, first of all, to the standard, and it should either belong to a foundation or a deep skilling.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a deep skilling course and it's a paid course, then the learner pays for the course. Let's say the learner, it's a 10,000 rupee course. The learner pays 10,000, finishes the course, takes the assessment, completes the assessment successfully, gets over 50% marks. Then the learner applies for geo incentive. The learner credentials will be checked and learner will get a refund of 600 rupees that he paid for assessment fully. That will be refunded. And since it's a deep skilling course, he gets a refund up to 50% of the course fee or 8,000, whichever is lower. So the learner will get 5,000 rupees back. So it's not they get the full amount of the course, they get 50% of the course fee with a cap of 8,000 for foundation for deep skilling and 3,000 for foundation.
Clear.
And there are deep skilling courses which are free, which also is applicable for government incentive. So what happens is when they apply for the geo incentive, they will get to avail 1,000 rupees waive off when they purchase a next paid course on the platform.
Clear.
Okay.
I may have missed out the last session, but I just wanted to check. So once we do this mapping and we have this courses that are mapping to the standard, what are the benefits that we will get as a course? Or for the
Yeah.
what would be the
So
benefit?
that's a very relevant question, Lokesh. And I think this whole exercise we are doing to make use of that, as Namrata, when she started the call, she was speaking about the NEP and the usage of NCRF, National Credit Framework, going forward to recognize credits. So any course which is NSQF aligned will only be able to get a credit equivalence as the learner proceeds. So today, if you have a course and you do assessment, and the learner will not be able to get the credit because it is not aligned to a standard. It's not NSQF aligned. So this whole initiative we started talking is if we can take the courses which you all are offering today, and these are popular courses, and ensure that the learner's learning effort doesn't go wasted. So with NCRF, every learning effort they want to recognize and ensure that the learner gets the credit. And these credits will be available in the academic bank of credit. That's what they say, ABC. So the way it's been defined is 30 hours is 1 credit. Suppose you have a 120-hour course and your learner takes the course, finishes the course, takes the SSC assessment, finishes the assessment successfully, the learner will get 3 credit. 120 divided by 33, so the learners will get 3 credit. So that is the purpose of doing this mapping exercise, Lokesh.
Okay.
The whole thing is learner can get the credit. How can the learner get credit? The learner can get credit only if the course is NSQF aligned.
Okay. And this assessment is going to be, something that we are giving the assessment or some standard different assessment you're talking about for the after
See,
doing the course.
right, right. So if your course is mapped to the standards, then we from ITIT's SSC will create the assessments and they can take the assessments through ITIT's SSC.
Sorry, what is the IT? What was that? IT?
Okay, so there are 38 sector skill councils, and NASSCOM represents ITES sector skill. So any assessments in ITES, we are the ones who take to the governing body called NCVET for standards approval. For those, we can conduct assessments. So if there is an ITES approved standard, for that standard, we can create assessments. So that's what I was trying to explain to Vash.
Okay. So these credits, so if I'm a student, I get a credit, 3 credits. So like that, I can show in my resume that I have 3 credits. Is that how it works?
Yeah, correct. So when the academic bank of credit is fully functional, they can actually, like how we have your DigiLocker, you can actually open the academic bank of credit and show how many credits that you have. And the learner, when they finish a course which is standards aligned, will get a certificate. If they take it on FSP platform, they'll get an FSP certificate with the Mighty logo and all that stuff. If it's on the SSC platform, they will get it with the NCVT logo and all that. So this certificate, they can show it anywhere.
Okay. Just I mean, I'm not very clear. What is FSP platform full form? What was
Okay, FSP is Future Skills Prime.
okay?
I think you missed the last session, so probably
Sure, sure.
the
Yeah,
terminologies are coming out
yeah,
as new. So
yeah.
NASSCOM and MIT, Ministry of Electronics and IT, have launched this platform called Future Skills Prime. So I'll probably request Namrata to just share the link with all of you. So this platform is a B2C platform where sign up is free. There are courses on this platform which are aligned. There are non-aligned courses. And if the for the aligned courses are the ones which is very clearly the process is defined on how you can go get the geo incentive when you complete the entire process. So FSP is a learning portal. It's a nation's digital skilling platform for emerging technology, the 10 technologies we cover: AI, big data, IoT, cyber, RPA, blockchain, robotics, AR, VR, and 3D printing. And there are soft skills, 10 professional skills also covered. The content is available on the platform. And I think Namrata just shared the link to the platform on chat. So anybody can log in, any Indian, the IP has to be India IP. So any Indian can log into this platform and then can use the content. If it's free, they go ahead and consume it straight away. If it's paid, they go ahead and pay it and consume the content.
Thank you so much for repeating for me. Thank you.
No problem, Lokesh.
So Priya, one question on the what is the marketing plan for FSP? Because I see so far I've seen so many resumes applying for our companies and all that. Not a single person has shown any certificate that is mapped to an FSP or whatever. You know, all these things is not out there in the market yet. So what is the marketing plan for this?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Uh, so there is a lot of visibility that is being done nowadays. You could see our CEO Kirti Seth giving a lot of public blogs and YouTubes and Twitter posts, and we are also hoping that MIT, because Ministry of Electronics IT itself will do some amount of branding for us. And NCVT, which is the standard, which is standards body, which is driving NCRF. So we want all of these government bodies to actually do the marketing, because what we are doing is we are building the standards and we are making sure that people who come out are meeting the basic requirement for that particular job role. So the responsibility of SSC, Siddesh, is we are responsible to create standards, that is job roles or competencies or micro-credentials, working along with the industry. So NASSCOM is no expert. NASSCOM works with the industry expert. So we create expert groups for each technologies. We ask the experts what are the job roles. So whatever Namrata showed today about the job roles, the competency is actually given by the industry experts. And then we submit, all we do is submit these documents with the NCVT and go through the process of standards approval. But the content creation of standard is actually by the industry. So industry gives us, these are popular job roles. Why don't you go ahead and create the standards? That's when we go ahead, create the standards with the help of the industry and submit it to the governing body. That's our one exercise. The second exercise, for the ones which has got standards, we build the assessment. And these assessments are usually AI proctored assessment. So we do, that is our role as an SSC. And FSP is a subset of SSC, which is where the portal is there, the learning portal, the learning platform is there, which is a MIT and NASSCOM combined initiative.
Yeah, this is great, but you know, this will not get a kickstart unless there is a large marketing initiative, right? So for example, you know, DigiLocker got an initiative, got a kickstart because, you know, all documents are available on DigiLocker. So for example, the outgoing graduates from IITs and NITs get their skills directly on this platform. That could be a good kickstart, right? But unless there is a large movement, I don't see why anyone should adopt to or should demonstrate their certifications or skills on this platform. But is there some plan like that, wherein you get thousands and lakhs of students adopting to this at one go?
Uh, I think you're hitting it on the nail. Very, very valid point. So we are now trying multiple options. Like, we do have a reach with academia. We do have enterprises are backing us with this program. And once these, see, ABC, Academic Bank of Credit, like how you have your DigiLocker where you update your certificate, Academic Bank of Credit will give you credit for completing the BTech course. So BTech course is 160 hours or 160 credits, right? So those 160 credits will automatically be available on the ABC portal once the learner finishes. In the same portal, ABC portal, if you complete an NSQF aligned course, those credits also will show up. ABC portal, I think, is still beta. I don't think it is live already. So the learners can show their credits, show their additional learning that they did over and above their course, and make it available on ABC portal. But yes, I do not disagree at all. There is a need. There's a lot more that we could do from the marketing perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, Priya. Any other questions from anybody else? All right.
So as
great.
next steps, probably we can conclude with the next steps. So for those content partners who are interested to get their course mapped to a standard, you could probably drop Anita a mail and mention that which is the course that you would like and what are the number of learners that you have for this course and which technology it is. And then we can get started with that exercise, and parallelly we can see how we do the MOU and all that stuff. It need not necessarily be a partner also. We could just sign an MOU. So we'll figure out that process. And also, as I was mentioning, maybe there is it's a course which doesn't belong to these 10 technologies, but you have a maximum learner, like you have 10,000 learner, 20,000 learners today taking it up. Then those are the courses that also we can look at and see how we could do. Take the courses, reverse engineer, get the standards approved for that particular competency and take it forward. So these are two actions that we can look at from the mapping exercise.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Priya and Amrita, for facilitating these two sessions in detail for us. And as they mentioned, please drop me an email if any of you is interested to proceed with this, and we will take it up accordingly. All right. So if there are no more questions, again, thank you all for joining these sessions. I will be sending the invites for the upcoming sessions. And for all the other future sessions in the industry working group, please check our community page. And again, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Anita. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Have a
everyone.
everyone.
nice day. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Good day.
Thank you.
Bye.